Creating our rhythm. Welcome to the Invisible to Empowered, Lesson 1. Creating our rhythm is really the foundational aspect of our life. Just like rhythm of any other, the seasons, the flow. When Mother Earth created her rhythm, it wasn't as if she said, I'm going to have winter one year following summer. It doesn't do that. There is a flow. There is a natural progress, a natural flow. And we are nature. We are a part of nature. And in order to remember that and to embody that fully, we too need a rhythm. We too need to flow throughout the days, throughout the weeks, and throughout the seasons. So while we're creating our rhythm, we are going to start with our weekly rhythm. I feel like when we get a look at our weekly rhythm and get a look at what is working, what is flowing, what is not working, what pieces we have in place, what pieces we do not, we are able to get a bigger, better picture rather than trying to create our daily rhythm first. I feel like having a big picture of what all the pieces are and all the activities. When we do a weekly rhythm first and we observe, like we've done the past week, when we really observe, what are we doing? What are we using our time for? How are we using our time? Why are we exhausted? What time are we going to bed? What time are we waking up? How many times did our kids wake up throughout the night? These are all the things that we were able to observe in the last week. And feel free to continue this observation. If you want to continue to print out these pages and to take notes on them, if you didn't realize how many times your child was waking up through the night and didn't write it down, these are things to go back and observe. If you didn't realize that every weekend you happen to be going out and about and getting off of your normal eating time and you don't have snacks prepped and in the car, or these are all things to observe and to write down. They will all go into your weekly rhythm, because I don't want you to create a weekly rhythm that is completely opposite of what you are doing right now. I want you to create a weekly rhythm around what you are doing right now. And then as you start eliminating and adding and creating a life that is more simple, more in the flow, and giving yourself time to be present in order to give yourself time to play, then your weekly rhythm will evolve and transform through and with that. But I want to say this is not going to happen in one day. This most likely won't even happen in 1 week. But we are going to continue to observe, and we are going to continue to be gentle and non-judgmental and release all guilt about what that looks and feels like. So I want you to see what really worked. What worked? And as we go through this video, I want you to take time to pause this video and to do the work while you are watching it now. Because most likely you will not come back to this video once it is over and done. So do the work, get out your notebook, get out a worksheet, and do the work now. While you're here, while you're present, do it the first time so you don't have to do it again. Now we're going to look at, what do you do naturally throughout the week that feels really good? You're going to pencil these in to your weekly rhythm worksheet. You are going to pencil these aspects in, these activities. These feel really good. Your children love doing them, but not just love doing them because kids love doing a lot of things, but what do your kids love doing that don't cause burnout at the end of the night, don't end up in temper tantrums, that end up in really good connection and feel really good, flowing, and rhythmic. Okay? Now, I'm sure throughout your observation from the past week, you realize that your kids generally got hungry at the same part of the day or during the same aspects of the day. And if you were able to observe, my child asked for food or my child was eating, there should be a chunk of time. It could be within an hour or two. There's this chunk of time though. And these are where your meal prep and your actually eating times are going to take place. I would suggest that if your child was asking for food or was sitting down and eating because they were going, Mom, I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry, and you finally said, okay, let me think of something to get you, here, eat. That was probably too late. Go an hour or 30 minutes prior to that observation time, and that is when you will be actually giving a meal. And so your prep time will be 30 minutes before that. Does that make sense? Let me rephrase that. Prep time will be about an hour before your kids were actually eating because they were already hungry, okay? 30 minutes before the already hungry point is when they will be eating. 30 minutes before that point is when you will be prepping. 30 minutes to an hour. I really, 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 we'll get into this in just a minute, want you to keep your meals as simple as possible. Your meals, I do not want you cooking hour-long meals right now. I want you to getting food prepped and on the table in 30 minutes or less, whether that's from a crock pot or cutting up and dicing fruits and veggies, however it is. But we'll get into that, okay? What time did you get really tired? You need to be in bed an hour before you are exhausted. Okay? 1 hour for this week only. Get to bed before you are exhausted. Get to bed so that you can lay there. And you can do some meditation, some breathing. You can do some intentions for the day, really be an observation, a beautiful, beautiful evening ritual that I learned from the Waldorf education. And what the Waldorf teachers actually do is when they lay in bed at night, they go backwards through time. So from the evening through the afternoon to the morning, and they actually go backwards in time and review the entire day. And when they get to a spot that they go, I didn't really like that. I intend to do differently the next time I get an opportunity with this situation. Okay, so these are the times that as you go back through your day, if you yelled at your child, if you felt rushed, if you just were really distracted with Facebook that day, you can go back through your day, allow yourself to see that whole situation, feel the feelings, allow it to be, and then intend that when you are given the opportunity to experience this aspect again, your intentions will fully come into bloom. You will be present. You will put away the distraction. You will take deep, calming breaths so that you don't yell. You will say it in a kind and connective way. You will prepare meals in advance so your kids don't have a total tantrum freak out. You will get them to bed an hour before they need to so that they're actually calm and ready for bed rather than winding up because they're so exhausted that they're getting another wind and they're winding back up. You do not want to put kids to bed when they are winding back up. It doesn't work. Okay? These are all the things that we were observing. And if you weren't able to observe them this first week, now that you're going to have these new tools of what a weekly rhythm is, you will be able to incorporate these into your observation. I want you to feel the observation. The observation is so crucial. Do the observation as often and as many times as you need to until you can really fully see what is going on in your life. When we can really fully see and be present to what is going on, then and only then will transformation and change actually happen. If we are trying to rush through and just put in new stuff without observing what our life currently is, we will be putting a foundation on top of a bunch of trash, on top of a bunch of junk. We have to observe, we have to be present, and we have to be willing to look at the mess, sweep up the mess, put the mess aside so that we can build a foundation on top of real awareness and observation. So what time do your kids start throwing fits or having meltdowns? In other words, in our common culture, it's called the bewitching or witching hour. The witching hour is the hour that your children should have already been asleep. It's usually while mom is making dinner. If this is true for you, it was true for me for a long time until I realized that I don't need to have my kids on a 9-to-5 schedule. They do not go to work. They do not go to school. And if your kids do go to work and do go to school, please notice the witching hour. If they are having witching hour at 6 o'clock when you are eating dinner, then you need to move dinner time to 5 o'clock. I'm sorry if daddy is not home yet. He may spend time with them after dinner or on the weekends or when he is home. I hear so many moms who are putting their lives into absolute utter chaos and frustration and overwhelm around the 9-to-5 schedule. Your kids are still on a natural, rhythmic schedule with the earth, with the sun, with the seasons, with the moon. They are with and in nature. They will not incorporate a 9-to-5 schedule for many years, and possibly until the age of about 7. Some kids, it's in between the ages of 5 and 7 that kids can start being incorporated into a more schedule, a rigidness. Prior to the age of 5, I urge you, I'm pleading with you for your own sanity to let their rhythms lead. Okay? If they need to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and go to bed at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, please allow that to happen. And as that happens, when they're going to bed at 4 o'clock in the evening, then you can start trying to get them to bed at 4:30 and seeing if they'll sleep in until 4:30. And then allowing it to be 5 and seeing if they'll wake up at 5. And you can gently push the schedule back, but this is maybe once every month that you're pushing this back. This is very gradual. This is very slow. And yes, it means you waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning with them. So be it. This time of our children being young is so short. If your children are not young, if you have middle schoolers or teenagers, please see their rhythm. They will be on a rhythm as well. The amount of sleep they need, let them get sleep. Allow them sleep. Don't plan activities so late at night that they're trying to stay awake and be a part of the TV watching and all of that kind of stuff. Allow children their sleep. Sleep, sleep, sleep. Allow yourself your sleep. So prior to the age of 6 or 7, kids need in between 10 and 12 hours of sleep. I do not know of a child under the age of 5 that needs less than 10 hours of sleep a night. Most of them need 12, if not 13. Please allow for sleep, okay? Email me if you're going, oh, my kids don't sleep. You will not like what I have to say, but email me anyway, and I will allow and give you the space to breathe into a new aspect of how and what sleep can look like in your home. Next is looking at the amount of activities. Are they creating connection or are they creating chaos? Are they creating peace, or are they creating disconnect? Are they creating absolute hectic running and rushing, or is your lifestyle very calm and pleasing and simple? I want you to look at that with your observation. All right, as we continue with the weekly rhythm, we are going to simplify things now. We are going to simplify so much that some people say, no, I don't want to. I'm not forcing you, but I would like for you, for the next 3 months while you are doing this program, to please follow the program. If you're unwilling to follow the program, that is your choice. But as you have signed up for this program, I ask, and I truly asking for your benefit, for your growth, for your transformation. I am asking because I know that it will change your life. And it is only for 3 months. Okay? So I want you to pick an activity, whether it be school. Yes, school is a full-time activity. And for the older kids, I would say over 9, it could be school and a sport, or school one. And allow, because still as an over 9-year-old, and especially for the under 7s, one activity, preschool or daycare or nursery school or school, swim lessons is one, gymnastics is one. I personally only do 2 activities a week, and those include play dates, those include outings. We do 2 activities a week. And the rest of the time, what do we do with the rest of the time? The rest of the time we are playing. We are being. We are not rushing. We are not going. And I understand that if you are a working mom and you are having your kids in daycare, then that is their activity for the day. Okay? Yes? Right. You can do it. Because yes, we are allowing for time when they're done with school, when they're home, this is their time to play. They are just going to play. You are just going to be. You are going to do your meal prep. You are going to do the dishes. You're going to clean up. And you're going to play. You're going to play washing the dishes. You're going to play with your children. You're going to play and just be, and you're going to take time to watch the clouds in the sky and the wind to go through the trees. And who has time for all of this stuff? I do. I live my life like this, and you can too. I promise you. I promise you. All right. We had talked briefly about having food prepped and ready before you and the kids are hungry. Okay? So it even just happened tonight in my own home. It was about 3:30 and my son goes, "Hey mom, where's dinner on the oven?" Because around 3:30 I'm usually prepping dinner. And I said, "Oh, I haven't started it yet. Thanks for letting me know that you're going to be hungry in an hour and that it's time for me to prep meal time." So I was able to get everything prepped and going, and we ate by 4:30. So which is, we like to eat in between 3:30 and 4:30. So again, we do not do a 9-to-5 schedule. My kids are in bed by 5:30. We eat by 4:30. I'm prepping by 3:30 if I have to cut things up and cook them. So allow for space. Allow for time. Allow. We are opening. Take a deep breath with me. We are opening up ourselves and allowing space into our lives. And having food prepped and ready, set an alarm. If you need to set an alarm at 8 a.m. to start making breakfast, do that. If you need to set an alarm at 10 or 11 to start prepping lunch, do that. If you need to set an alarm at 3:30 or 4 to make dinner, do that. Please set yourself up for success. Set yourself up to create these automated systems in your life so that you don't have to remember so much. So now a big part of the weekly rhythm is the meal plan. And again, if you're not pausing this video, I want you to pause it right now. Pause it after I tell you this. So now you're going to choose 7 different meals for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snack. So this is going to be the only meal plan that you create for the next 3 months. So make sure these meals are very simple to create, very easy, and yummy. So I'm going to give you an example of my own meal plan. One of the breakfasts is cut up fruit. It takes me about 5 minutes to prepare it, and that's one of our meals. Often for snack time is a smoothie. Again, it only takes about 5 minutes to make, and it fills us for the hour for the snack. And then a dinner that we have is rice with Costco organic spaghetti sauce. So simple. I want you to think very simple. And with the rice, I cut up some red bell peppers and throw those on top. Done. It's a meal that takes about 15 minutes to make, and we actually love it. So when you're creating meals, use meals that you already love, that your kids already love, that are in your vision of healthy or whatever you're striving for. And use these 7 breakfasts, lunch, and dinner. If you're getting a bunch of fruit for the breakfast, then, don't worry so much about lunch. If you're getting a bunch of veggies in dinner, it'll balance itself out. So don't feel like you have to have, just because you're having just fruit for breakfast doesn't mean that you're not getting protein in another meal with a bunch of veggies or even chicken. If you're doing a bunch of carbs for lunch, which, pasta or rice or something like that, don't worry about dinner. So when you're looking at the breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snack, see that you're getting your fruits and veggies throughout the day. See that you're getting all of your nutrition throughout the day, rather than it being, a protein and a carb and a veggie for dinner. You can kind of allow things to be balanced throughout the entire day, rather than trying to feel like you have to create this masterpiece of a meal. A crock pot is wonderful and can be your best friend for, especially if you're going to be making breakfast and lunch. Put your crock pot stuff in there at breakfast time, and then lunch is ready or dinner is ready. Use that to your advantage. Throw lentils and barley and cumin and onion powder and garlic, or some real onions and garlic, into the crock pot. And there you have a delicious kind of Mexican flavored bowl that you can either throw into some tortillas with some lettuce, and there you have it. You're done. So there's ways of being and doing these things very easily and simply. I want you to pick things that are easy and simple. And I'm repeating myself like this because I have done it. I said, I'm going to pick 7 different meals and they're going to be this and this, and it's chaos and I'm overwhelmed. So now I try to make very similar meals. I make a batch of gravy that I can put into noodles. I can put it into rice. I can have mashed potatoes and gravy. So make things and then make extra as leftovers so that you can incorporate them into other meals as well. Same with the spaghetti sauce. Use it on spaghetti, put it in rice. Start thinking about ways to save time, save energy, and save money, because that is going to be one of your biggest money-making, money-saving aspects of this program is your grocery list. So once you have your 7 different breakfast, lunch, dinners, and snacks, you're going to look at the ingredients of all of those, and there is your one grocery list. The first time you might have to buy a lot. Every other time you won't have to buy so much. Try to make things, potatoes, a giant bag of potatoes, and have potatoes. You can do this very inexpensively. My grocery bill is about $400 to $500 a month. You can save a lot of money in this area if you plan to do so. Okay? If you want to look at a full meal plan of mine, I can absolutely email that to you. So just send me an email and I will get that to you, no problem, if you're looking for some more ideas. Okay? In your weekly rhythm, choose a way to connect to spirit, however you view spirit, nature, God, yourself, however you choose and know how to connect to spirit. If you don't know how to connect to spirit, or that's one of the ways that you are feeling very lost, just begin journaling. Start a way that each day, I love to do different things. So one day I focus on connecting and having that intention of connecting to spirit while in nature. I like to do automatic writing one day. I like to do journaling one day. I like to focus on the little voices and my inner child work. So each day I choose a different way. And that way I'm not stuck doing the same things all the time. I do like change. I do like to mix it up. So I'm right there with you. But I keep it simple still. So, and then each day of the week, as you're planning your weekly activities, you want to make sure that you have room in there for self-care. You want to make sure that you have room in there for nature. Nature should also be in your daily rhythm, but I'd like for you to have an extended nature day planned in your weekly rhythm. And then a day of rest where there's really nothing planned, where it's just a day to be, where your kids are making a mess of the house, playing everywhere, and you're just allowing that to happen, and you're going to just rest. You're not going to clean up after them every 20 minutes. You're not going to clean your whole house on this day. You are going to let the house be a mess, and you are going to rest. That might sound really difficult for you, and that's okay, because I'm going to let that thought just sink in. All right. So examples of activities for each day, because I said that I don't do more than 1 to 2 outings each week. So that includes play dates or going actually to a place or anything like that. We homeschool and we are very much home a lot or out in nature a lot. So examples of activities that we do each day throughout the week: we have a baking day, we do handwork, sewing, or different things like that. We have a crafting day, a nature day. One day, the Play-Doh comes out. One day is for laundry. One day is for grocery shopping. There's lots of ways of putting activities, if you're needing activities or outings or things like this, you just go, I don't know what I would do with my kids for 8 hours, 12 hours for the day. These are wonderful. So the day, there's a cleaning day. As you create space and more time opens up, your kids are going to just want to play more and more and more. And that's going to take up most of their time. But in that transition, and even for yourself, it's wonderful to have a day where Tuesdays are kind of my baking day. On Tuesday, we either bake cookies or muffins or get our biscuits and bread done. And then Wednesday's cleaning day. So it kind of works out beautiful that we do all of our baking, make granola, do all the baking that needs to be done for the week. And then the next day is cleaning day. And so everything gets cleaned up really well. And we're not, immediately going to be baking a whole bunch on cleaning day. So creating a rhythm that not only flows, but allows for life to happen fully, making a big giant mess, and who cares, because tomorrow I get to clean. That's when I get to clean. This is another big thing. I do not clean, vacuum, wipe up. I wipe up the tables and I wipe up the oven and I do the dishes every day. And I pick up kind of every day. I do not clean my house every day. My house is clean once a week. And we will, in the weeks to come, be getting to expectations. I did have to release my expectations of what a house has to look like. And now, it makes me free. I can run out of the house with things on the floor and not everything picked up to go play in nature, because that's what the day is. It's a nature day. And so I want to give you that freedom too. And if you need to talk to your partner about this, saying I'm going to release the expectations of how clean the house is for the next little bit until I really get a firm foundation of what's going on. If the house is dirty and you're happy, we're going to go through actually simplifying the stuff too. That way there's not so much stuff to have to clean up all the time. Okay. That will help. So examples of activities that I personally schedule for my week. I have a day that I make sure that I do my blog, and these are at night mainly. So these are when the kids are in bed. These are my me time, and I actually schedule things for my evenings. That way I do have time with my partner. I do have time to have calls with my clients. I do have free nights, and I do have nights that I've set aside to do my full or new moon rituals. And I do have nights that are my self-care and bath nights. And I do have nights that I blog. So you'll see that there's this flow. I look forward to my Mondays when I get to write my blog and do my Magical Monday to Magical card. I look forward to Tuesdays when I get to spend the evening hanging out with my hubby. I look forward to my bath nights. I look forward to each of these things because they only come once a week, and they're special. They keep me grounded. They keep me in a space of being present. So as we're thinking of these things that we want to add in or things that we want to do, I want you to remember that you are simplifying your life. You are not adding more to your to-do list. We are simplifying. We are doing things once a week, and those are when we do them. And then the rest of the week, we let it go. So we are going to simplify. As we're thinking of our meals and our weekly meal plan, we are creating freedom. We are creating simplicity and ease. We are not a 5-star restaurant unless you actually are a 5-star restaurant. And then in that case, you need to be planning things around Okay? If you run a business of cooking or baking or any of these other things, allowing the simplicity of your life to be that simple. Okay? If you really enjoy baking and like going all out and creating these masterpieces, then incorporate that as one of your activities. Okay? And really allow the space and the time and the ability to do that. So when you have your foundation down, when you have your weekly rhythm down, when we've gone through this 3-month program of creating this foundation, then you can always create more fun, more activities, more elaborate meals, more elaborate activities into your life. But please, please, please hold off for the next 3 months from creating elaborate plans. Create simplicity. So this is your next week. You are creating your weekly rhythm, your meal plan, your activity guide, and simplicity, please, over the next week. Peace and blessings to you. And if you have any questions or anything's unclear or you're needing something specific for your own knowledge, please feel free to reach out. I am here, and I'm excited to hear what you come up with for your weekly rhythm.